guys, it's Crazy Horse here. So what we're doing today is we're doing some basic CAS callouts and the basic procedures for CAS. This is going to be the same in general if this is a ground element, JTAC, or if you're using a AFAC or FAC-A. The difference is one is on the ground and a FAC-A is an airborne forward air controller. So there's a few things we're going to do. We're going to talk about some callouts, about what our IPs are and our patterns, and how we conduct our attack runs, and then we're going to do a simulated CAS run here. So there's a few things. You're going to come on station and you're going to do a check-in, and you're going to call out who you are, what you are, where you are, how long you have, and you'll hear that as we do our check-in. When you do your actual attack runs, there's a few things you're going to do. You're going to find your target in the TGP if that's available. You're going to call that you have contact on that target. You're also going to advise that you have contact on the friendly element, and you're going to describe what that target is. So the few things that we're going to do on this, you're going to do your check-in. You're going to then receive a 9-line. It is highly recommended that you have a pen and paper. You're going to have to write information down. You're then going to get remarks. Your remarks are what they're requesting, any hazards, basically any information or talk on that you need, because you may not contact your target. You're going to then do your call-ins. So your calls are, you have contact of the target. You have described the target, and this is only if you have a TGP. After that, you're going to read your IP. You're going to call your IP, which means you're turning in on your attack run. You're then going to call in. This means that your weapons are hot and that you are on your final attack run. So we're going to make sure our Maverick is up, all of our weapons are good. We have our Master Arm on. So we're 100% good to go there. You'll then call either your rifle or your pickle or whatever it is, and then you'll call when you're clear of that target. And then once you're clear of the target, you might establish on a orbital pattern or a racetrack. You'll be requested if there's going to be additional targets. So we're going to start heading in here. We are 14 miles from waypoint November 1. This is a pre-established waypoint, so we're going to start heading in there. So now that we're coming in, we're getting close to our IP. We're going to go ahead and make our call. We've been instructed to contact them on 124.000. So that's pretty simple. We're going to come in at 15,000 feet. We're going to drop our throttle back. One of the things to know is, especially on the A10, F-16s are going to be a little different, but fuel management is important. So I do not want to be burning as much fuel as I can. I want to be going a little slower. So at about 210, I know I can stay an A10 up in the air, and so that's about where we're going to be. We're just going to go to an altitude hold here, or correction, a heading hold, until we get to the IP, at which point then we're going to go to an altitude hold. We're just going to do a circle around that IP. So we're going to go ahead and begin. Apache 20, Dragon 11, approximately 11 miles from November 1 on check-in. Dragon 11, Apache 20, go with check-in. Dragon 11, 1x810C at 15,000 with 2 hours playtime. I have 1x AGM 65 Delta, 2 GBU 38, 2 GBU 54, 1 GBU 10, 1 GBU 12, 7x 151, available for tasking. Dragon 11, Apache 20, advise when established to orbit at November 1. Dragon 11, copies all. So at this point, what we're doing is we're about 7 miles out from our waypoint there. So we're just going to start heading over. I'm also going to go ahead and get my TGP up. I don't have a target for it yet, but I want to make sure that it's ready. So I know I'm coming into a CAS situation. I'm going to do a snap view here, and I'm going to come down here. I'm going to get to my waypoint page, and to do that, I'm going to hit and I don't have to because we're established. Normally you hit waypoint and you go into your waypoint. So I'm also going to go to UTM because this is what we almost always use. And we need to set up a couple other things. Let's set up our UTM here. And I'm also going to go to control, latitude, longitude to MGRS. And then we'll do a return. So again, make sure you have a pen and paper. As we get into some of our bigger missions, that's going to be really important. So you can see I'm within about 1.5 miles of the target. So I'm going to go ahead and put us into a altitude hold here. We're going to do a pretty stout bank. I'm going to drop our throttle even farther. And there we go. Now we're just getting on a good altitude hold in the area. We're going to go ahead and proceed, do some callouts. We're going to do an attack run, and we should be good to go. Apache 20, Dragon 11, established at November 1. Dragon 11, Apache 11, we copy. You are established at November 1. Advise when ready for 9 line. Dragon 11, go with 9 line. Line 1, November 1. Line 2, Delta. Line 3, 15 miles. Line 4, 594. Line 5, 6-wheeled AAA vehicle. Line 6, 40 Romeo, Charlie, November, 69029, 62839. Line 7, no mark. 8, friendlies south at 2.5 kilometers. Line 9, Charlie. Advise when ready for remarks and further talk on. So at this point I'm writing down, I'm making sure I have that. You got to make sure you have all of that information, and then you call them back. Apache 20, Dragon 11, copies all ready for remarks. Request, Dragon 11, Apache 20, request 1x151 laser guide. No hazards. Advise when ready for talk on and read back. So we're going to read back our lines, and we're going to go through these real quick. So what I'm going to do is pause this here. So what we're doing is line 1 is the IP, and that is the initial point that you're going to attack from. So we're coming into the area. We don't know where our target is yet, so we're establishing at a known IP. Now, if there's more targets on target, you're going to go ahead and establish at a 10-mile or get your instructions and set up an orbit. And then your IP is actually just going to be your keyhole. You want to know the heading. A lot of times, you heard on this one, it's Delta. We're using keyholes. If at all possible, it makes it fast and easy. Line 3, IP to target distance. So I want to know how far my target is from where my initial attack is. Line 4 is the elevation of the target. Line 5 is the description of the target. Line 6 is the location. Line 7 is the mark. Line 8 is the friendly location. And line 9 is the egress. When I do my read back, this is to make sure I have all the important information. I'm going to read back 2, 4, 6, 7, and 9. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Apache 20, Dragon 11, I copy Delta at 594. 40 Romeo, Charlie, November, 69029, 62839. No mark. Exit Charlie. Request 1x151L. Will advise when ready for IP. So what I'm telling him is that I'm going to request or tell him when I'm ready for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go 2. I'm going to put this in as target 1. Setup is very important here. I know I'm already on 40 Romeo, so as you can see, I went ahead, I was banking too hard, I slowed down too much. I'm going to increase my throttle, I'm going to gain my speed. So really just watching that speed, and you have 1,000 things going on. Now I can drop back just a little, and we'll go ahead and put this at
autopilot.
Put this at an altitude hold as soon as we can. We have to gain a little bit of speed before it's going to allow us to. So the big thing to remember here is that you are having to do 10, 15 things all at once. Make sure that your autopilot's going to be stable, and now we can go back and work on our CDU. Alright, so now we know that our CDU is set up. We're on target 1. I'm going to go ahead and put the elevation of 594 right there. I'm going to then type in Charlie November 69029 62839. That's good. I'm going to put it there. There we go. I'm going to set this from flight pan back to mission. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set that as my next target. You can see that we are 12 miles from that target, so a pretty good estimate, and there it is. I'm also going to look, and they have friendlies have an ELPRs on, all right, LPRs, and that's what's giving me that X down there, showing me that's a friendly location. So now I'm going to go ahead and slew my TGP onto target. All right, one thing to note right here, as you can see, we are masked from the target. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and raise my wing up a little bit, put us there. I'm going to start looking for my target. Now I got a 10-digit grid, which means I was really close. So now I have target. I'm going to verify. Set that as my SPI. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to turn my moving map off just because that's a preference. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go to expand 1. There we go. Now expand 1 means that you can see my aircraft, and up on the TAD is now north. So this is going to allow me to know what my keyholes are. So now we're going to make our next call in. Apache 20, Dragon 11, contact friendly to the south. Contact target, 6th-wheeled vehicle with AAA emplacement. Dragon 11, Apache 20, that is your target. Advise when IP. So now we've been told to advise when IP. We can see we're not quite in position. I'm not going to do a full rotation around this target here. We don't really need to. And we are currently orbiting around our IP point, which is so we don't have to go into a orbit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly south just a little ways and then come in on an attack run. When we come in on that attack run, we're going to go ahead and call our IP when we're turning in. Before we engage that target, that's when we're going to go ahead and call that we're in. You're going to be told to continue, abort, and cleared hot. These are important callouts you need to be aware of. Alright, so we're just going to get a little bit south here. Now, I will tell you that we requested a 151 Lima, laser-guided rocket, and that's because they felt that the current threat level is okay for that. So that's perfectly fine to do, but if you feel that you have a problem with that ordnance, you can tell them. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come left. I'm going to zoom out just a little so I can see it. Correction, come right. And I'm going to get my weapons set up. I have those selected. I'm going to watch my TAD over here to make sure that I'm entering on the appropriate heading path, which is Delta. So now I'm going to turn in. I am turning in on my target. I'm going to try to maintain my altitude as best as I can. And at this point, I'm going to key up my radio. Apache 20, Dragon 11, IP inbound. Dragon 11, Apache 20, continue. So basically, I told him I am en route. We can see I'm coming in on a delta pattern here. I'm 12 miles from this target. So at about 6 miles, I'm going to call my in, and this is depending on the weapon. Basically, it's just my final confirmation. Now, the heading difference, if you look out here, you can see that we are not going to be a threat to those friendlies because they're to the south. But you can see here, if I came in from the south, that would absolutely be a threat to the friendlies if I had a misdrop, if I overshot, undershot. So that's why we established these. Now, one thing I do, if you notice, my TGP is no longer my sensor point of interest. They're soy sensor of interest because I don't want my laser set. It's on a point. I know that that's a good hit. I don't want to accidentally bump it. So we're approaching 7.8 miles. These callouts are also very important because you might have 10 aircraft flying around, and that JTAC's going to have to control you. So you can do a couple of different things here, by the way. We're not working on the actual attack run. We're just working on the CAS portion of it. So 6.3 miles. Apache 20, Dragon 11, in on target. Dragon 11, Apache 11, continue. Now, I messed that up. What I need to call is Apache 20, Dragon 11, in on Delta at 4. I'm going to roll in on my target. And you see I'm kind of just doing an odd little... I have my target. Rocket away, and I'm lasing. Because I'm lasing, I'm just going to pull up and maintain that heading. I'm going to watch my target. Now I can go back over. I can make sure. And Apache 20 has a visual on this. They're watching this with binoculars. So, Dragon 11, Apache 20, Shack, good guns, establish orbit at 10 miles. Dragon 11 is exit on Charlie with good guns, establishing at 10. So now we're headed due south. We're going to go out 10 miles from our target. And a couple of things to remember on this. If you look here, you can see, one of the reasons I love this is you can see that I have my target where my cursor is at 191 degrees from me at 4 miles. That's what that 004 is, and you can see that the altitude is at 590. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to establish at 10, and that gives me the SA, situational awareness, to know that. So when you're doing a cast run, you have a few things that are going on. These callouts are extremely important, simply because of what you have going on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to see that we have another target to the north of where that last target was. So, something else that you might have, and we're going to get established here at about 10 miles. Something else that you might have is you might have a new request, and they're not even going to give you a grid from the ground. They're going to tell you that target is currently 5 miles to the north from your location, or they're going to be shorter than that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to establish and see if we can locate that target based off what we already have. So first thing is I'm going to zoom out, go out. We're just going to establish a pattern, a short pattern here. I know that I need to go to the north. There we go. And I'm on a wide view, but this is a big area. So finding this target, you'd have to have some sort of talk on here. So now they could tell us there is a village to the east of the target. Go west in between the village to the northwest. So, okay. So, let's see here. 2 villages. So, from that description, I can see that that area, that village right there, kind of looks right for this target. So I'm going to move my TGP over there. Now I'm going to start scanning this area. I'm going to look out and I'm going to see where that is. Okay. Now I can kind of start searching. I can see... Yep, right there. So they're going to give me that talk on. It's to the south of that, in between the 2 villages. I'm going to say, okay, to the south of that, in between the 2 villages. Locating armed reconnaissance like this without grids can be extremely difficult. So, establish. Alright. So what I'm going to ask them for a road. So I see this road right here, this intersection. They're going to say go south. So there's the road. Okay, going south. Let's look out there and see where we are in relation. Now that I look, I don't think I'm in the right area. So these are things that you're just going to have to look at, know a little bit, so that you're aware, because you have this road running to the south. You have this intersection over here. And so they're going to start doing talk-on for you. Talk-on can be extremely difficult. So there's that intersection. Okay? So I believe that may be this intersection. But you're going to have to just look around and identify it. How do we find that intersection? Okay, so there's a circle in it. Is there a circle? Yeah, there is. Okay, so I want to go due west of here. Okay, so there is that. I'm going to look over here. I'm going to check. And I'm sorry, it's due east of this intersection. So I'm going to look due east. So I'd want to scan this way, and from his description, I might be somewhere over in this area. So right now, what I tell him is I am contact of that village, and I am contact the intersection over here. But unfortunately, I'm not identifying that target. I'm going to need something else. So let's switch our view and see if that would help. So let's look back down here. We're getting our visual. So let's look at that road that he described, right? I think that's this road. So I'm going to come back a little bit. So towards us right now. I think we're somewhere over here now. And we may not be in the right area at all. We may be completely off. And that's what this talk on. That's why a JTAC is so important. because you're literally getting a visual on things from the air, which looks completely different, and a map recon may not even work. The other thing I can do is I'm going to look down here. I'm going to look and see if I see this shulka that is supposedly down here. So I think I'm in the right area, and I'm telling Apache at this point I don't have contact on that target. I don't have visual on it. I'm pretty certain at this point of where we are, but now we're going to look. We're looking here. We're not even in the right area. So you're going to tell him, I need a better location. So he's going to say north of my location. Okay. So let's look out here. Let's find him again. Oh. What is north of him? Oh, that's right down here. So I haven't been looking in the right area.
Warning, autopilot.
So getting these bearings and figuring out your distances are extremely important. And as you can see, you know, we're really just simulating as best we can here based on it. So that's target 2. So to the north of him. What is the north? I might be passing right over this target in all reality. So there he is. So let's put our TGP over here. So there was the last target, which should have been right up here. So let's zoom in here and look. So just off to my right, I should see this intersection somewhere. Yep, there it is. There's the burning Hulk. Okay. Okay. So obviously I need to pull out here, get a little bit of distance. We're going to go ahead. So that description I'd be getting from him is that it is going to, so here's the intersection. It's going to be to the northeast of that intersection. So contact of the target. Looking here. Northeast. So it's going to be right back here where somewhere where my TGP is. And I can go ahead and continue to look through my TGP. I can look through just out the cockpit, and I can continue to try to get that visual reference. Visual reference is going to be extremely important. All right, so I think we're in the general area with our TGP, and I'm kind of just visually searching now, looking for him. He said to his due north, and we know that it's going to be across the road. So here he is, due north, and to the right slightly. Okay, that little nub right there. He might tell me that the northeast corner point is pointing directly to the target. I'm like, hey, okay, hold on. Northeast nub pointing directly to the target. Well, we're right in the area then, aren't we? Yeah. And we're only 6 miles away. That's another thing you need to remember. When you're searching for a target, you need to be getting a little bit of distance so that you can search. And we're just going to continue to search here. Normally, you'd actually have someone else doing giving you these talk-ons, so you're not going to be having to do this all by yourself and to figure out where this target is. But you're looking out here. I can see where he is. I have contact on the friendly, and that is important. If you lose contact on the friendly, you need to abort. I'll look out here and see if I can just see the target visually. Now there's another road behind there. So I would tell them I have contact on that other road. They're gonna be like, it is closer to the south road. Okay. So based on the information that we have, I think it's going to be somewhere in there. So you see how this HUD is really going to help you when you're trying to identify targets like this. You're just going to go into a heading hold, and I'm going to verify where that TGP is. Okay, there we go. I believe I am in the right area now. I'm not seeing that target, not getting contact on that target. So let's change it up. Let's go to white hot. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Well, I didn't see all those before. Alright, that's a smoking target. So we're just searching this area. I know I'm in the right area. So you're requesting further talk on. So maybe you tell them, hey, I need a good distance. So 1.75 kilometers. Okay. So coming out, going back to black hot. So I'm going to lower my contrast a little bit. So about 32 is a good contrast to maintain. And now I need to come back to the right. And again, what you're doing here is you're just trying to visually acquire a target, and this is probably the most difficult thing. You're told, hey, from this point, there's a target close in this area. And now you're trying to figure it out. Alright. Alright. My TGP is up. And you can see now I'm at about 13 miles. I'm just going to do a heading hold here. You can see my contrast is a little bit better. Alright, contact on that. Wait. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to put it to a point. And Apache Dragon 1-1. I have contact on a tracked ZSU target. They're going to tell me, A-firm, that is your target. They're going to request I go in on Delta with an AGM-65. So it's going to be Dragon 1-1, you are clear to engage on Delta with a Charlie exit. Advise IP. I'm going to call in. I am IP inbound. I'm going to go to my Maverick now. I know I'm set up for this run. I'm going to look at my distance. Make sure that that's set up. Come over to my Maverick. I'm going to set my Maverick. I am on a final attack heading. But I'm not within weapons range. I'm approaching. Now I'm going to call Dragon 1-1 is in. They're going to call continue. I'm in weapons range. I'm just trying to get a lock. I have a basic lock. I'm good enough on my target to come straight. I'm going to nose a little bit. I'm cleared hot and rifle. I'm going to call Dragon 1-1 as rifle. Dragon 1-1 is out. This way, everybody knows that I'm just exiting, so I don't have to be right over the target. As you can see here, I can exit Charlie just fine, just like this, and go back out, enter the pattern. I obviously would like to know what my weapon does, and we're going to go ahead and watch this go in. So using these patterns is really simple. You are going to get a BDA of what the effect of your weapon is. As you can see, armed recon takes just a little while because you're going to have to get, if you don't have a grid, you're going to have to get information from them. So that's going to be it for today. This is just a very basic CAS to kind of get you used to what the callouts are and why you're doing those callouts. Your HEMIX is extremely helpful for doing any kind of CAS run like this. So join us next time, and I hope to see you in the air.